5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How's life and such, guys?
Cool
and man, it is great.
Well,
It's
nice
very
fading
lifey.
there.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I was just thinking that. Wait a minute, wasn't the music supposed to fade, not completely cut out?
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
No, you're not.
That's what happens when you guys
Sorry isn't
make me
enough.
multitask.
Yeah, it's fine. Well,
It'll be
how's
better
everyone's
next
weekend?
time. Leave me alone.
Lol.
There is no next time! You're fired!
There's
How's
a next
everyone's
time, and that would be
weekend?
next Sunday.
Yeah, probably. Anyway.
So don't. be
How's
like
everyone's week been?
that. Everyone's week has been great, Meso.
Yeah!
How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Painful. That's what I'd rate it.
What the heck?
What,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What are you talking about?
I didn't know
I
that was
had
on
to
the
talk
scale
to
of
you
1
guys.
to 10.
Me
on, a
neither.
scale of one, on a scale of 1 to 10, I rank this week as painful.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot what you had to endure.
Yeah, gym class is not fun.
So there are many questions running throughout my head right now. I won't be voicing
And none
most
of them
it,
will be
guys.
answered because I know they're all messed up.
Maybe.
The answers may or may not be yes, no, possibly, and I'm sorry I don't remember any of the events of that night.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah. Okay. So on that note, let's say our interesting names. I'm Messinek.
Wow. I'm Byron.
I'm LJ.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm not
Good.
last this time.
Nope.
Usually aren't when I'm around.
Well, go away, good sir. I'm Venom.
And I just quite possibly make a whole episode today.
Nice name.
Yes.
What an interesting name. I didn't know that's what we had to call you, but okay, whatever.
No, I'm kidding. But I
Yeah.
might just make an entire episode this time. Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would indeed.
In the
And
name
this
of comedy.
is- And this is TTV episode 28.
No, it's not.
Yes,
it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
Shut up. You know nothing.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
know
wrong for once. I mean,
No, this is episode 27.2.
Stop talking!
but yeah, I can already tell this is gonna be the best episode we've ever recorded. Wait, I have a sense of deja vu when I say this.
The best episode we've ever recorded. Doesn't that happen a lot, Meso? Don't you get that feeling a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's most of our episodes.
Usually when you're
lols.
not
No,
here.
then again,
Lol.
even though I've been here the last 3 episodes for the beginning of it, Meso's had that
That-
same feeling.
That was just a low blow, Vin.
I could
That
I
was
could
just
say
an attempt at a
something.
low
I could say
blow.
something that I usually say, but can't.
Well, I guess it's good that we haven't started the news yet because we now have a special addition to our host list, Kahinuva, who is now here.
You gross.
Get it out of here.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
my internet started at the wrong time.
Lol.
I was there all the way up until 10 minutes before episode started.
Yep. Well, we just have now got around to saying our names, so you didn't really miss much.
That's good.
No,
So-
but you missed the most
Alright,
important
well,
part,
yeah.
the part that everybody's been waiting for,
Oh my god.
or had been waiting for.
No, that's Mock's segment. Yeah.
You're having the mock segment?
Yeah, right.
But yeah.
No, but Sumiki wishes we were.
Sumiki's not even here. He doesn't wish anything.
Lol. But
He has moods and feelings just like the rest of us, Var.
They're just
Now,
very
Because
damper.
they're just less important.
lol. Yeah, let's move on to our
Wow.
regularly scheduled segment, the news. And you can start from Monday.
I know.
Okay.
In the news this week, we have teaser trailer for Lego Batman 2, Legoland Netherlands, Hero Factory stories at the Lego Club site, kids learn engineering concepts with Lego, re-brick interview, world record Lego mosaic attempt, and that is the news and commentary.
Well, the news is pretty bland and boring today, if I do say so myself. But you know what else is new?
Yeah, really. The one interesting thing on there is the Rebrick interview. Which
And the
really
Hero
isn't all that
Factory
interesting.
short story.
Meh.
The short story.
I watched the teaser trailer for Lego Batman 2.
Lego Batman
cool.
2.
Lols.
It's Batman 2, DC superheroes.
Yes.
That's great.
It's funny because the trailer only showed Superman.
I know,
What?
right?
Like, out of all the things, they just show Superman. Yeah.
That's because
There's no
Superman
mention
and
of Wonder Woman,
Batman
the
are
Green
the
Lantern,
two most
the Flash.
recognizable superheroes ever.
BRB.
No, actually, it's Batman, Spider-Man,
Yeah.
in the recent poll taken by. Never mind. But
Man.
yeah, it's just Batman.
No one cares about recent polls. Superman's older.
Meantime, though, Superman,
Everybody knows Superman.
But Keeney, the game is called Lego Batman 2.
Yeah, it's called Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
They should have called it Lego Superman, the video game.
Legos.
Lego Super Batman, man.
Two.
Super brick.
Lego Super Batman, man.
It's Superman, Lego Superman, Batman, Public Enemies. Or
Lego-
Lego Superman, Batman, Apocalypse.
Lego Super
Lego
brick.
Super
I wonder if they're
Brick.
gonna make a Lego Avengers
Yeah,
game.
great.
That'd be interesting.
They probably,
That's probably
won't.
the Lego
I know,
Avengers.
right? I really hope they do.
Well, the Avengers comes
Lego
out pretty soon.
Spider-Man, Lego,
Unless
you know,
they're
Lego
already
Marvel,
developing
Lego
it, they're
X-Men.
probably not gonna make it. And they're
Either
developing
that or the
Batman.
Avengers game is inside DC superheroes for whatever reason.
People generally like
That would be
Marvel stuff
interesting.
more than DC, so I think they should have done that.
That is true.
Actually, like, yeah. See, with Batman, I don't know,
See,
I
with
was hoping
Batman,
for
nobody
some Flash.
Oh, wait,
Flash
Superman, nobody cares.
do that. But
Avengers.
they showed him using heat vision, light, and freeze breath, which is kind of interesting.
Freeze breath.
Freeze breath.
Freeze breath, Superman's freezing
Yeah,
breath.
freeze breath. He has.
He
has
never
super
needs
breath.
to take a breath mint
which
because
can freeze people.
breath is always chilly.
Oh my god.
Minty.
Minty fresh. I know.
Minty fresh.
Icy hot.
I guess
Superman,
I'm still
icy
wondering how
hot.
they're going to use the heart system, you know?
Yeah.
Superman,
It's
icy
like-
hot.
Because, you know, people shoot him. So what? Superman's whole thing is that he's bulletproof. So, like, is he not going to lose any hearts just flying around?
That's
And
actually
just, you know,
true.
if people shoot him with kryptonite bullets.
They probably will say they'll shoot Superman with kryptonite
Yeah.
bullets.
Or magic bullets.
Man, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Magic,
Really?
yeah, magic is his one weakness alongside kryptonite. So,
Magic.
So if I pull a rabbit out of a hat, is that gonna kill him? Is that a
Yes.
bullet through his head?
Yes.
Yes.
Spider-Man witnessing magic is like, or sorry, Superman witnessing magic is like, I don't know. It's like one of us saying hi to LJ in a nice way. Just doesn't happen. It's horrible. It'll kill us.
I return, dear Lord. That lightning
David.
and that sound of thunderstorms. Oh dear. I'm
I'm
going
so
to die,
jealous.
everybody.
I'm so
Oh, no.
jealous of you. That is not fair. You suck. I hate you, etc.
reconnect.
Wait, Var has a thunderstorm? Dang it!
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous because I got snow again right before spring break, as usual.
I got rain like all week, so I'm
I got
fine.
10 inches of snow after every piece of snow had melted in my
My
area.
weather's been pretty
Lola.
bipolar.
Well, that
Like
was
usual.
fun.
Alberta for you. Alberta has
the way
bipolar
they
number
introduce
2.
Superman's kind of cool. Like have the Williams thing going while he's
Mother
floating in the
Nature
rain.
just can't make up her mind.
Very quickly though, regarding the news, I'm kind of interested that you guys know how we've switched to RYTMIK for posting
Yes.
our episodes on TTV on BZP. Yeah. Well,
I had no idea.
oh, you're so funny.
I
Anyway,
know.
right after we do that, here we go. BZP interviews the Andrew Arnold guy.
That's not BZP interview.
Oh wait, no, Peter.
It's not a
Peter
interview
Esperson.
with him, but they host it. BZ
Uh,
Powercast is an interview. It's not for BZP. It's just a video on the front page.
well, that's still kind of interesting.
It is.
still
RYTMIK's a
interesting.
really great
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, RYTMIK's excellent.
Yeah, RYTMIK.
Yeah.
Guy
And
in
it's
it
more
actually
legitimate than
he
going
says that,
against their no
the
YouTube
RYTMIK
linking
is for the
rules.
fans.
Yes.
RYTMIK is a better way than using YouTube, because at least then if they
Yeah, he
put
said that they're
RYTMIK
gonna
stuff up on the
they're
front
gonna
page,
allow
it's
more
not
stuff
this
they wouldn't allow.
huge, horrible,
Yes.
you broke your own rules thing.
Yeah. And then there is the Hero Factory short story,
I mean,
which
he
I've
just
read,
did that,
and I
though,
literally
Lego
have.
Batman trailer.
Oh, just wow, Kai.
Then there's the Hero Factory short story, which I read, and it just blew my mind. I have no clue what went on it, or what it was about, or why it was even posted. I just don't understand.
It's a Hero Factory short story. What else do you need?
Well, no, not only does it contradict all of the story they've built up so far for Breakout, that it's just completely random and completely nonsensical.
Yeah, I didn't understand it either. It says like the main character is supposed to be like what? Furno and
Alpha Omega
Jawblade.
Recon. Yeah, Furno and Jawblade. And they have random pictures of the heroes and villains where they don't apply, which made me wrathful.
Yeah, I don't understand who the main character of that even is.
I know, right?
I haven't read it, so
You should. It's very enlightening.
no.
It's-
The ways
It's
of
terrible.
the universe. Yeah, it is. When it was announced there would be Hero Factory short stories, I expected something like the story serials. You can't always get what you want.
I gotta BRB, guys.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nobody go for the rocket or Gauss Hog. Just saying.
And then...
Anyways.
Well, that's about it with the news. It's abysmally boring this week. There are other
Yeah, it
things,
is.
but I had nothing I have any interest in talking about.
Yeah.
Like the world record Lego mosaic attempt.
Yeah, kind of boring.
Yeah.
That's
Nah.
Lego.
It's crud. No.
No, it's not. It's great. It's fantastic.
Nah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That is sadly it for the news. I'm surprised we talked about it for as long as we did. So, yeah. Well, now that completely boring and uninteresting and very short segment was over, we can now move on to our next segment. Brought to attention. What the heck was that?
No.
You're a professional, huh?
Guys, I need some.
You know
That was a
what?
man-
You know what? I felt like having some fun.
Wow. Well,
Hey,
you know.
My
Oh, wait,
avatar's not a troll.
I know. That was unfortunate.
No, my
Oh,
avatar's a
where
troll.
exactly
face
were
for you guys.
He took the Banshee, I believe.
Oh, God.
I was afraid the enemies were gonna get it.
You could have at least stayed at my location and helped me.
Sorry.
Alright, so
Okay.
today we will now jump in to what will be brought to attention today. I'm going to call out, and not call out, more like just talk about a voting booth topic by the very interesting name of Bionicle Zone Power or Hero Factory Power. And from the topic, you can already guess what this is going to be about. It's, going to be about blah, blah, blah. Let me read the actual post, even though you can probably, already guess. Would you prefer if BZP shifted its focus to mainly Hero Factory? That's the topic. Short, simple, but to the point. Well, and naturally, no real surprise. The votes are, as of the time of this, recording, which is 5 days after the topic was made, that 2 votes for Hero Factory, 54 votes for Bionicle, and 13 say it honestly does not make a difference to me. The topics votes pretty much speak for themselves, but it's not the votes which we'll be talking about today. It's more along the lines of the posts in the topic, how the topic is steered away from what the initial purpose was into something that is completely different, and, some of the interesting opinions brought forth and whatnot. So, the interestingness pretty much started around near the bottom of page 1, when Makuta of Oz posted, and, Makuta of Oz, he is one of the staunch supporters of, the Bring Back Bionicle initiative of sorts. The Hero Factory is not really a good line kind of thing, He represents that viewpoint of the community, and then, he's really the last remaining vocal kind of guy that completely does not like Hero Factory and really, really wants Bionicle back. At least the last on BZP. The rest have kind of died out and whatnot. So, naturally, that's his opinion. And then, naturally, people started opposing that opinion. And also just, letting him know, well, even if Bionicle did come back, and even if it doesn't come back, BZP will always remain a primarily Bionicle-focused site. And one of these people that, posted this was DV, staff member, stands for Darth Vader, that guy. So then, people voiced their opinions, and, the standard way people usually voice their opinions. And, well, the topic has turned into something kind of interesting. Well, what are your guys' take on this interesting thing that has happened?
I don't really have much of an opinion on it myself.
Yeah. I think both sides of the argument were just being dumb, but that's personally me.
Well, yeah. People usually, when they get into Hero Factory versus Bionicle debate, or in this case, a Hero Factory zone power, Bionicle zone power thing, people usually do have various different kinds of inflammatory opinions. People are either just completely dissing Hero Factory, or people don't want Bionicle back in the least, and they, insult Bionicle. That usually happens.
Yeah. The one thing that I find the worst, though, is that the people who like Hero Factory diss Bionicle. The people who like Bionicle diss Hero Factory. And, that's, okay, yeah, whatever, that's kind of what happens. The annoying thing is the fact that people, and I guess I'm just going to say it, Makuta of Oz, they treat the people who like Hero Factory as, traitors to the fan base sort of idea.
Well, no,
right?
it's you're right, it is Makuta of Oz, and it's also people like Liwa Chrome, who no longer goes on BZP. He actually left because of that whole thing. People that don't really go on BZP anymore always used to, have that mentality. And I think they quit BZP because they didn't like that people accepted that Bionicle was gone. And they equated that with being like a traitor to the fan base.
Yeah. Well, and I think one thing that kind of goes along with this is Makuta of Oz made a blog post where he said that he was sick of people being so defeatist about Bionicle.
Yeah.
And it's not really defeatist, it's just that people see the fan base, see the line of Bionicle's life as what it was, and it was a great line, but people at the same point don't want it to continue on forever, because the longer something continues on that's good, the worse it gets.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, in that same post he quoted me directly, because I find myself in a very interesting position, because I've been on both sides of that line. The line that crosses between the devoted Hero Factory fans and the devoted Bionicle fans, and vice versa. I've been on both sides of that, and I think that's kind of a lucky position to be in.
Yeah, you have an interesting viewpoint.
Well, I mean, way back when, I was the guy who didn't care either way. Meso liked Hero Factory, and you were the one who is kind of where Makuta of Oz is at now, where you despised Hero Factory, but, over time, I think we've all gotten to the point where we realize that, it is what it is. We can't really change it. Let's take the good of both and just instead of remembering the fact, or instead of dwelling on the fact that it's gone, we'll dwell on the good times with it while it was still going, and we'll try and continue it as best we can and keep those good times coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's kind of interesting where it is now, and it's actually still going. It's kind of elaborated into an interesting tangle of arguments, disagreements. It's basically Bonsai, Gadanui, Electric Turok, and DV all in a giant opinionated tussle.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of how DV handled it, but that's all I'm going to say here.
Yeah, he made a funny little comment that was hypocritical, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's
Lag out at
You
that.
lagged out again, Marshall.
And
really where
that's
it's turned off into.
Oh, look, he lagged
That's
out.
really where it's kind of veered off into. Like DV said something, and then Bonsai said something, and now Gadanui said something, and now it's actually turned into like a staff versus staff discussion on page 2.
It's become less of a discussion, right? Like even before, back when it kind of started up, it was still more of a discussion. It wasn't the nicest discussion ever, but it's turned into a bit more of a staff versus staff. I don't want to say flame war, but that's
Debate.
kind of what it is.
Kind of like a debate /
Yeah.
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone has, very interesting viewpoints, but it's mostly a pessimist versus optimist kind of argument here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always what it's been, and I'm kind of glad, honestly. Not to say that. Okay, like I'm glad that people have like left BZP or have stopped voicing their opinions. No, that's not true. But I'm glad that the certain people that always sparked these debates that I always talked about on What the Heck way back when have kind of faded away. And because that one really inflammatory side is no longer there, we really don't see too many arguments anymore about this whole thing.
Well, and
Why I
you
haven't
know,
talked
part
about
of
it.
that is, and I don't want to say anything bad about Makuta of Oz, but I think all of the people who started those debates are gone, except Makuta of Oz. He's one of the few people who's still around, who he kind of wants to start that argument almost because he makes those comments, whereas the rest of people are more, just kind of willing to see what the other side says and should voice their opinions. Makuta of Oz is he kind of alienates the people with differing opinions.
Yeah.
In a way. Traitors and treason and all that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember I used to say that anyone who didn't like Bionicle, who knew it was on BZP, needed to leave. I think that's a similar view of how some people are now here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Some people could say you're being kind of hypocritical for changing your view like that and then saying somebody's wrong for it, or not. I guess not necessarily wrong, but it's taking it out of proportion. But really, I mean, in a sense, we can all understand people not wanting the people who don't like the Bionicle line or don't want it back, not around anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone can understand that, but it's the degree of it's how much people want it that is taken out of proportion now.
Well, yeah, because it's like there's a difference, and I always hate it when people can't make this distinction. There's a difference between not liking Bionicle and not wanting Bionicle to come back. Some people think it had a fitting in. Some people don't want to see it butchered more. Some people don't trust LEGO to handle it properly because they don't like what they're doing with Hero Factory. Some people don't want to see design cues from Hero Factory put into Bionicle's return in the future. There are a lot more different reasons to not wanting it back than not liking it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think you can compare it to Mass Effect 3's ending controversy thing almost, because some people hate it, some
Wow.
people love it.
That's true.
It is comparable.
The people
But
liked it, but they
the big
hated
difference
because
with
it was
that
different
is that the
ending.
people who hate it don't call the people who like it traitors.
Mm.
And the people who like it don't call the people that hate it traitors. That's the major difference. This kind of argument is perfectly acceptable, right?
Yeah.
But really, it's one of those just you don't have to throw words like traitor around to get your point
Yeah.
across, or to say that you like this line and you want it back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because especially when you start doing something like that, you're less credible now, right?
Y'all.
People are more willing to follow you and to help you with your crusade or whatever you want to call it when you're actually nice to them and you respect the fact that, you know, they might not want it back entirely or to just continue on from where it was, but that doesn't mean they don't like it, right? If you start, you know, insulting people, right? And I think that's another thing, right? Like Makuta of Oz sometimes, or I guess I've never actually seen him get really worked up about it, but at least in his blog, he kind of gets angry at the fact that people are not the nicest to him on BZP and kind of insult him sometimes, right? And that all stems back to the fact that he insults everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Really,
you know, yeah, that's true. And I don't want to
No-
like
no
call
one likes
people
being
out.
called
That's
a
a common
traitor.
trait that's been here for a long time. Yeah.
Well, but nobody likes to be called a traitor just for not wanting the line back. It doesn't make just because I don't want Bionicle back doesn't make me a traitor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I still write stories for Bionicle. I still think up stuff for Bionicle. I still do this podcast, right? I'm
'cause
still a
it's like
part of the
one
Bionicle
time-
community, but I'm not a traitor.
Yeah,
just because
definitely.
I don't want it back.
Because like one thing that was really the defining moment for me, that really kind of made me a little bit more open-minded to some of the stuff that was going on BZP, was when I expressed my opinion that, okay, I don't really trust LEGO to handle Bionicle's return right now, maybe in like 10 years or so, but I don't really want it back right now because I don't want to see them butcher it. And someone told me, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to like call anyone out, but someone told me, if you don't want Bionicle back, you are not a Bionicle fan. And I responded with, and I listed all the stuff that I had like bought and all the stuff that I'd followed and all the stuff I'd read and watched, and me participating in the community for 10 years and being there from the beginning to the end. And I asked this person, does that make me not a Bionicle fan if I don't want it back at this moment in time? And the person said yes, and perhaps you never were.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
on
that
opinion.
viewpoint. And you know, I'm going to use you as an example, LJ. You said that this kind of makes you ashamed to be a Bionicle fan, right?
Yes, I said
This whole
yeah.
situation, right? And
I kind of was referring to something else differently, but yes.
well, yeah, but it's this whole situation. It was a specific person that brought it about. I'm not going to name names, but it's this kind of situation
Yes.
that makes you ashamed, right? And
Yes.
and really, it kind of makes me ashamed too, because really, if you're gonna, right, you know, you can't say somebody's not a fan when they've been around from the beginning, right?
Yeah. And
All 10 years of Bionicle, I've followed and I've bought sets and I've written stories and I've done all this stuff. And, you know, for somebody to call me a traitor to the fan base and, like, you know, not a fan and all that stuff really, like, annoys me because, you know, yeah. Well, all of us really are, like, you know, fans.
yeah.
And yes,
and-
I am a traitor to the fan base because I don't like, or I don't want Bionicle back. I'm a horrible traitor. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
another thing is that I haven't been around the whole, you know, the original 10 set years of Bionicle. I came in late 2002.
No, I'm kidding.
Wow. But you see,
less
see-
of a fan than the rest of us, LJ.
yeah, you see, thing is, I said that I was kind of ashamed due to said person that to be a Bionicle fan, but
Mhm.
in all honesty, I still collect the sets. I still plan to collect the sets and hopefully get all the Bionicle sets primarily ever released. Why? Because, you know, Bionicle is something close to me, and I really enjoy it, and I'm going to continue enjoying it. I mean, I have most of my O1 sets here, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, you know, this is something that I don't want to give up on anytime soon. And, you know, I've had doubts about continuing collecting Bionicle, especially the older sets, because, you know, it's over. Why would I do this? But if the thing is, that's the thing. Why does anyone ever, you know, collect old things that they enjoyed? It's devotion.
Well, yeah. And it
And-
really doesn't matter when it came out or why it came out or what
Exactly.
happened to it, right? It's something you enjoy, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you see, I may now look back on that comment and think, you know what, I'm not as ashamed to be a Bionicle fan, but I'm fairly ashamed to be a part of a fan base that has such twisted viewpoints. Because I understand, like I said, I was a part of that viewpoint, and I hear, you know, so I understand it, but, you know, it's just ridiculous. And even was brought up that, well, I'm not going to say who, but if that's the case, you shouldn't join any fan base whatsoever. That is honestly ridiculous. And you see, if there are people like that, you don't just go, oh, I give up on the fan base.
Well,
okay.
I think the person in question misunderstood what you meant by that.
Yeah.
Because it's not so much you're ashamed to be a fan because of one person's actions, right? It's more you're ashamed to be a member of a fan base where the fans aren't united, right? It's like, or they can't even attempt to be, right? It's like, really, I mean, I've written, God knows how many stories for Bionicle. Most of them aren't even finished. But, you know.
Forsaken.
Leave me alone. Forsaken. Anyway, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know what? Some people collect the sets. Some people make mocks. Some people write stories, and some people draw art. If I wasn't a fan of Bionicle, I would not have devoted 5 years of my life refining my writing style through Bionicle fanfiction.
Exactly.
I would not have done that, right?
The same thing with art for me.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, you know, if you're not a fan, you don't devote and you don't take your free time to create stuff that, for you at least, enriches the world that you're writing for, right? Or that you're drawing art for or making mocks for it.
Comic making like me, Kahi, and LJ.
Or comic making.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, like, really, right? If you guys weren't fans and you didn't like the line and you didn't, you know, care about it, why would you guys make creative stuff for it?
Yeah.
Right? Makes no sense.
I think
Yes.
the thing about this is that a lot of people seem to have this viewpoint in which Bionicle can do no wrong. Like, from when it started to where it ended, it was absolutely perfect. You know, and like they also view it as a whole. They don't see it as like separate parts. Like you can like one part and not like the other. Wow. But it's like, you know, you can't do it wrong. It's like the Bionicle is completely perfect. And disagree, you're not a fan. Like if you just like this part, you don't like this part, you can't do that. You know, you can't be a fan. You have to like every single thing it does. And every single thing it does was amazing and perfect and good. And it's the only way it should have been done. You know, and that's kind of very annoying, very trying.
It is, because the thing about Bionicle, one of the reasons I like it is because there's so many aspects to it. There's the games, there's there's the movies, there's the story, there's the sets, there's the animations, there's the community with the fan fiction. You can't say the same about that for other things. You definitely can't say the same about that for other things I enjoy, like Hero Factory. It's one of the things that made Bionicle unique and such, but that doesn't mean I have to like every single thing blanket as a whole just because it has the name Bionicle plastered on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I think I think too, it's kind of the same argument that people have with wanting set versions of the figures that never got set versions, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like the characters, figures, whatever. Character, figure.
Figures.
Different word, same meaning. Leave me alone, Venom.
Fine.
You're worse than Kahi.
Oh my god.
But, you know, it's like, if we get sets of all of these characters, like, say, Artaka and, you know, Toa 2 yet or whatever, if we get figures of all these sets, then where's the creative spirit that we used to have as part of the fan base? Where is it gone? Really, right?
It's gone to plastic.
I don't know. I guess we're going to have to figure that out.
But, you know, it's like if suddenly there's a set of like a random character that got introduced a long time ago but doesn't have a canon appearance, and I'm using that character in my story, and halfway through the story that set comes out, suddenly I have to change my story and the description of that character to go along with the set. You know, it's like the creative or the creativity of the fan base that used to be like applauded is kind of the more people argue that they want it back, the less creativity there is, really.
Yeah.
I have to
With
say,
all these
sort of
attempts to bring it
disagree
back.
with that.
Huh?
No, I was gonna say I sort of agree with that on the basis of which, like, you know, Lego could have just say, oh, we're gonna just give you a description of all these characters. We're not even gonna make sets for them anymore, and then that would fulfill the whole creative purpose. But I think like it's creating new sets are a large part of the Bionicle fan base, you know, and like but if, just by limiting that, just because someone's fan fiction might not line up with the actual canon, I don't know if that's like a good enough reason to justify, why it shouldn't be there. Like that argument could breach out.
But you know what it is?
You know what it is?
Like, it's those characters who we don't have a canon appearance for that people like to do the most with, right? You think on the forums, the most art is of characters that we don't know what they look like. Because once you have a character that nobody knows what he or she looks like, you have so much more opportunity to do what you want with the character, right?
I just have to say, the thing with not everyone being made as a set, it enabled BZP to do those like contests, which aren't possible anymore now that Greg is gone.
Yeah.
But that was another element of the community that is now sadly gone.
Yeah.
But if Top Duck was made a set, we couldn't have had that Top Duck contest, even though I didn't really like the...
Oh wait.
Gerbraz contest, yes, that'd be great. Make it transparent white parts. Anyway,
you mold transparent parts, all of them.
That'd be amazing.
That would actually be the most amazing set ever. But
nah, that's possible if Gerbraz had his mutation, his invisibility undone. Then that contest would be ripe for the making.
Ripe for the making.
And I think
the joke.jpg.
I think another thing that goes along with that is the fact that people who want those kind of things, it's a cool idea and it'd be nice to have appearances for all of these characters, but at the same time, people want Bionicle back, and really, I'm not gonna quote Greg because everybody knows his quote, but he said, keep being creative, keep making stories and drawing art and all of this stuff, keep the community alive. And I think if we have most of these projects, especially on Kusu, are specific characters that we never got the appearance of, you do that and you're limiting the potential to make something original and keep this creative spirit of the forum alive, and thus you're actually being counterintuitive towards a lot of the ways that you can keep Bionicle alive.
Yeah. Well, to cap off this segment, I have to add one more thing to what you just said, and that is, that's the thing about a lot of these people that want Bionicle back. They're not realistic. Lego is not going to bring Bionicle back, and they're going to make all the characters we did not get sets for the sets of that new line. That's not how Lego works. That's not how the creative business model that they use works. They would have to create entirely new characters. It would be like 2009, and some people like that, some people didn't.
Yeah.
But if people don't realize that, and they delude themselves into thinking that they would make a bunch of different kinds of Skrull, and they would make Tuyet, and they would make Hellrix, and they would make all these people that we didn't get sets for, and that would be Bionicle. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
really, Lego went out of their way to create the stars as a fan service. They're not going to listen to a Kusu project that wants more sets just because a bunch of fans say they do, right? They already spent money that they didn't need to spend to design and create and sell the stars sets. Yes. So really, it's another matter of, living with what we got and accepting, that fact that Lego isn't completely evil and they have done stuff for us, right?
Yeah, contrary to what some people would like to believe.
Yeah. I mean, people are, people are, whining about how Lego doesn't acknowledge the fans, and Lego has to. And what a lot of people don't realize is that they already have.
That is true, in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
A lot of people cherish the 2001 sets because they're the best sets of Bionicle. I personally enjoy to cherish, the first and the last sets, which is why I have a very unpopular opinion. I think, at least here, that the stars were really cool. They were really good sets.
No, they weren't. They were terrible. They were gory cookie cutters. How could you? You are a traitor to all of Bionicle. I now proclaim you as the deserter.
LJ, I want you dead.
No, I'm sorry, man.
I want you dead for being a traitor.
No.
How dare you enjoy the stars?
Yeah, death on you.
I want it.
Calm down, Var.
May
Calm down.
death be laid
Okay.
upon this traitor and all of his treacherous activities.
Off with his head.
No, not my
Shut
head. I
the
need that.
non-believer. And
Kill
all those
him!
mango seeds
Kill him!
all over the planet.
Wait.
Wipe the blood of the fruit all over
Like
the
the blood of
world.
the fruit?
Wow.
Anyway.
What's happening?
Nobody has any idea, LJ.
The blood of the fruit.
The episode, bro.
I'm gonna have to quote that one day.
So, that was brought to attention. Pretty interesting community we're a part of, huh, guys?
Some days I love the
Alright.
community, and other days I wish the community would just go die in a hole and stop being so community-like.
I was just about to say that. Anyway.
Anyway.
What's
Only
next?
community would stop acting like community.
Well, next up is our final segment of the day.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
Yep, the Comic Maker Spotlight.
Alrighty.
Hello and welcome to the Comic Maker Spotlight. As you already know, I'm LJ, and I'm going to be joined by
No, we don't know.
yeah, you probably forgot, because apparently I'm having the blood of my fruit, the mango smeared all over the place. So,
Definitely don't look like LJ anymore.
yep, no, I look more like a smoothie. So, let's get right to it. As I said last week,
Like a smoothie.
a bunch of guts and organs and chewy thing. Okay, anyway.
Okay, moving
Forget the
on.
seeds.
Yeah, so,
Job.
as I said last I would be going over another old comic series, and this is probably going to be my last old comic series for a little bit. This is The Stupid Toa Adventure by Chronicler of Ko-Koro. And this series actually is also not on the new form. Little info on the author. Chronicler of Ko-Koro joined BZPower on February 3rd, 2003, and in that time racked up 4,556 posts. So, this was a series. Very akin to the early comics of the Chill God. It went for more simplistic, hand-drawn, in-paint, MS Paint style. And it pulled it off extraordinarily well.
Oh, look, I remember this.
Yes. As the title suggests, it's another parody of 2001. Comedic. Tahu's stupid, Kopaka's sensible, Galley's sensible, Liwa's kind of mean to people at times, and Anua's Anua. He's always been Anua.
What the heck is a Nua?
Yep.
Onua is Onua. You really can't change it.
Onua! That's my name.
Dirt.
I love
I love dirt.
But
They're
anyway,
my friend.
You guys suck.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Voice Actor of Onua. We don't have your wonderful voice talents to help us right now, because you refuse to give them.
So, anyway, he came out with 2 seasons. We're going to quickly go over Season 1. Season 1 was actually extraordinarily funny for its time.
Was
The series actually relied, humor-wise, a lot on slapstick. But sometimes it got some wording in there. But mainly it was slapstick. The kit used, actually, consistently, except for one select instance, was RAG 1.0. And this is a very accurate kit. So, a lot
It's
of...
Rag, not Rag.
I know,
Oh my
I
God.
call it RAG.
You're a horrible person.
It's actually supposed to be Rage, but,
Shun
that-
the non-believer.
that
But Rag just
Smear
sounds
the
No,
blood
no,
of
let's
the
not do
mango
this again.
stain all over the comics forum.
No, people would want that.
LJ,
No.
L2 grammar blocks.
So a lot of the running gags actually were Tahu and his stupidity, the author's love of chicken,
Huh.
Liwa getting into trouble all the time. And Kopaka or someone just getting him out of trouble. So, oh yeah, and the Jolly Rancher. So, Season 1 was exceptionally good. It focused on the Toa's quest for the masks, and wasn't finished, actually. That's where Season 2 comes in. Season 2 came in, and it continued from where Season 1 left off, and added in a ton more new comics. Another running gag was actually Liwa's fear of Fiku spiders, quote-unquote arachnophobia, which was actually fairly funny. This series was actually extraordinarily unique in that it celebrated actually made-up holidays, which back in old BZP were semi-celebrated. Like International Tahu Day, International Pohatu Day, International Wenua Day, International Vakama Day, and the list goes on and on. These are actually fairly well-known comics back in the day, and people very well enjoyed them. Let's go on to the graphics very quickly. The graphics are actually, for its semi-simplistic style, very well done. Most of it was hand-sprited, which means that the characters fit in exceptionally well to their backgrounds. So, and it was nice to look at. It was not overly done. It was not underdone. It was like a perfectly cooked turkey.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
I just compared these comics
Really?
to turkey. They're delicious.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Okay.
Fruit
Turkey.
comparing comics to turkey.
These comics turn into a turkey on my man. But anyway.
Oh my
Doing
god.
that thing.
What?
So another running gag was actually Anua, where he'd always, when he was in danger, he'd say, "Look, money!" And the enemy would turn and go, "Huh? Where?" And bang, he'd get hit. He did that to one Nui Jaga once, and throughout the series, it consistently remembered anyone who was involved with any of those incidences. So, yeah. It was an exceptionally well-done comic series, and it unfortunately was never finished. It got up all the way to comic 96, and then I guess the author lost interest. I'm not really sure.
How unfortunate.
But, yeah. It also had another sub-series called Bionicle and BZP, which had a lot of the characters on the old version of BZPower. And I'm not talking about, the archives. I'm talking about the one where you get those poems and the bubble wrap during form downtime. That old.
Cool.
That's great.
Which apparently was actually in 2007. Moving on!
Bubble wrap. You can still find that,
Yep, I know. So,
I love it.
all in all, the comic series are actually extremely well done. Even though they're old, they are a classic. This kit isn't used anymore, unfortunately enough. And not very many people remember this specific series or the author. But for what they are funny.
Yeah. I have to agree.
What do you guys think?
Unlike LG.
I'm reading through a few of them right now, and I'm finding them quite funny, actually.
Yeah.
I originally thought Stupid Toll Adventure was the original name for LG the Becoming.
You. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't it turn into like?
What the?
Yeah, but didn't that turn into live, learn, and lawsuits or something stupid like that?
Oh yeah, LJ the Becoming then became something called lawsuits.
LJ the Becoming's about him becoming a Toa.
What about
Which is
Keeney's
Toa.
comics?
Yes.
I'm sorry,
that's not even
Keeney's
Toa.
Comics spawned whatever it's called, spawned LJ's Comics, spawned Kai's Comics.
Keeney's comics, I remember those.
They were great
Yeah.
back in the day.
Best
In
comics
there.
ever.
As far as the style goes, I have to admit, I really do like the simplicity of it, I guess. Usually I'm a sucker for, really high definition graphics, but I like how, it really shows that the guy knew what he was doing when he was making these, It's all part of
Yeah.
one style. it's not just somebody doing this just because he doesn't know how to do better. The word bubbles are actually really well done, much better than some of the other word bubbles I could speak of today. And I like how he had in the first comics he had some different fonts for different characters. That really was well done. I guess I don't really have anything else to say.
I always enjoy when different characters get different fonts. Just to add on to that, it always
seems pretty classic.
Improves the
which I
look of it.
appreciate.
Yeah, the humor is one of those things where it's not too much of a knockoff of something. Like there are some people that try to knock off just because somebody else is doing it, and the humor always seems forced. This one seems a bit more natural. The guy knows, again, he knows what he's doing. This is a classic series, so it's a pretty entertaining read.
Yes.
That's pretty much what I have to say on it.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
This is just opinion here, that I find is wrong with the comics form at the moment, is that comic makers try too hard to, I don't know, make comics that really aren't funny. And I'm not going to name any names, but they just don't do it well. What I wish people would do is look back at old comic series and kind of see how certain comic makers did certain things. Because there's a lot to learn from that. But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, most people nowadays do not even remember this series.
They probably take.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I know I wasn't around when it was made, but I've never even heard of it before until you mentioned it today.
It seems like a lot of the instances.
Yeah.
So,
Seems like a lot of instances of new comics are just take a couple of looks at big comics like Darks and 09's comics, Gavla's comics, or anyone else that's up there that uses Chimoru, and go, oh, I can be just like them, and pop on Chimoru onto Paint, and then go set yourself right away. That's what it seems to me nowadays.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's probably exactly what a lot of people think.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people started off similar to the Chronicler of Ko-Koro, but over time he stuck with that and he perfected it.
Yeah.
So
the comics forum is kind of split right now between people who do sprite comics and people who try to do really high def comics. Then all of the noobs try to either do low def comics, and the people who do high def comics basically say they suck, or they try to do high def comics and the people who do low def comics say they suck, sort of thing.
Yeah, but it is a shame. But if you're a BZP member, and even if you're not, go check out The Stupid Toe Adventure by Chronicler of Ko-Koro. Link will definitely be down in the description, but be warned, if you are a member of BZPower, it is on the old archive forum, so it will log you out. Be warned. So that about wraps it up. I hope you've enjoyed. That's Comic Maker Spotlight.
Hooray!
Yay!
Well, that was very good. Good job, LG.
Thank you.
And with that, well, I suppose this episode is actually at an end. I'd say it turned out
the moment
to
you
be a
guys
fairly
all
good one.
been waiting for.
Yep. The moment we've all been waiting for, the outro.
For it to end.
For it to end.
Come on, man.
Well, I mean, Sumiki likes to think that the Mox Spotlight is the one that everybody loves the most, but in reality, it's the ending.
Yep.
I'm just glad to be over with it. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. But, well, thank you all for listening. And you should like, favorite, rate, comment, subscribe.
All that fancy jazz.
Post and wear our banners, our t-shirts.
You can't rate anymore. Okay.
Yes, you can. You just gotta believe. I mean, anyway.
And remember, everybody, to bring Bionicle back, do so through creative means, such as writing and art and mocks. And don't rage at the people who don't want Bionicle back.
Yes.
Just
I agree.
Good night,
yeah.
Detroit, or Chicago, or wherever you happen to be listening to. Assuming it's even nighttime where you're listening.
Lols.
Wow.
But yeah, thank you for listening, and cue outro music. And
Am I really supposed to cue the outro music?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? Is that the way this works?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, do it.
Are
Do it,
really?
or I'll
Because
smite
I
you
don't know.
along with the fruit.
I'm Masak.
I'm Borderman. It's really loud.
I'm LJ.
I'm Kahi.
I'm Venom.
I'm Keeney.
And this was TTV
Or,
episode
the
28.
guy who made it through a whole episode.
And this was TTV episode 28. Keeney, you're a bit rusty.